Right. Hi there, it's Paulie here. Yay! So, look, I have always adored like old kind of 30s science fiction and so on, and it's ultimate flowering in the Flash Gordon movie. Oh, General Carla. But it's not something that you see done really well in the role-playing genre. I don't know, people have shied away from it. 30s pulp kind of action science fiction through the whole 50s kind of thing is a great genre. So I'm kind of looking for Dungeons and Dragons or simple sort of systems that might do this really well. Haha! So I found a couple. So I will go over a couple, but this one's a gem. Bandits and Battlecruisers. The "and" is what lets you know it's old school. Right, so is it a completely self-contained role-playing game? Yes and no. It's got all the rules that you need to play a sort of a game that is very much based on old school D&D as one of these fab kind of 30s pulp science fictions. But you can adapt in anything you want from other systems. So if you want people to use magic, if you want different classes or whatever, you can do it. It's open enough to just let you grift them in. Now, this is beautifully illustrated with fantabulous artwork of the expected style. It's space vampires and maidens and bubble helmets and cool ray guns with lots of rings around them. It's a fabulous piece of work, and the whole thing is filled with cool illustrations and lots of random charts. It proudly says on the cover, over 30 random charts. Oh yeah, way over 30 random charts. And this is kind of part of the charm of the game. I think it's very keen to keep you doing things random so that people don't get bogged down into expectations. But, so what they have as a system, the usual D&D-esque style characteristics are rolled and can be rolled in the usual old school ways. Strength and intelligence and these sorts of things. And they give you wisdom and so forth. However, what they then do is provide alternatives. They can say that if you don't want to use those characteristics, you might want to substitute this for wisdom. You might want to substitute this one for charisma. You might want to also think about splitting dexterity up into agility and manual dexterity and these sorts of things. It gives you a ton of options for how you want to run your game, and it also puts in a percentile based skill system, which is just really based for all characters on whatever level that you are, and those skills are things like spaceship operations and these sorts of things. So everyone can kind of fly spaceships and do these sorts of things. The higher your experience, the better everyone gets at them. That's there so that if you have wizards or people carried in from other worlds or whatever, you can put them straight in. They have a classless RPG system if you wish to use it, but you can roll for a background for your character to see what he came from. He might have been ex-military, or you might be a technician or a xenologist or an escaped slave or whatever. All the wonderful tropes are there. Myriads of aliens. You can be aliens and find aliens and all this sort of stuff. And they've got random charts. What's the motivation of this alien? Particularly if you're taking a role-playing game character, or if you've got an NPC with you. So there's a whole chart for, is it actually an alien spy checking you out? Is it really looking to lay its eggs somewhere? Or is it the last member of a doomed race? Is it an outcast from its species? There are all these little extra things you can do. Bizarre alien features. If you haven't thought up something, you can roll all these wonderful features. There's whole charts for mutations. You can elect to have a mutant, but it also says, of course, you may find people that have been subjected to strange radiation mutations, or that it may happen to characters. So lots of mutations, everything from leathery wings to albinism to you've got transparent skin to whatever. Great stuff. The levels of experience, as I said, they give you your skills for using sort of technological things and ship things go up. There's a monster matrix attack and so on, which is very, very based on original old school D&D. Armor, they split it into very specific types. There's bulletproof vests, and there's graviton shields and phase shield generators and these sorts of things, which all give specific armor classes, which you roll against in the usual way. You've got saving throws in the usual old school D&D way. This is a D20 roll high system. Great. Reaction classes, all these sorts of things. There's also a list of things for figuring out what technology that you might have come from, which would limit what your character can use comfortably. So you could have characters that are cavemen, or have come from medieval worlds, or from worlds of our level thing. So e.g. Flash Gordon, flung into the moons of Mungo. There's lots of creature creation tables, magnificent charts for creating alien races, for creating alien species, alien life. This has an absolutely fabulous system of doing fleshing out worlds. It's got a great system for fleshing out sectors, and then the individual star systems in the sectors, and then what life and what resources and what flavor you've got on the planets. So there's wonderful charts for just figuring out random things for different life forms that you may bump into. What's their thing, what's their quirk, what's odd about this place, what's weird about this world, how is it, how does it affect you. There are also quirks and hidden things on the planets, alien bases, pirate bases. This is actually a giant mechanism. There's terrible climatic changes happens at set seasons as it comes closer to the sun. It's really colourful. Abilities of sapient beings. You can roll things for their cultures and for all of their quirks as well. Wonderful monsters. They've got lots of sample monsters. Space vampires. Yes, those haunting, beautiful women that you awakened from those stasis pods on that wreck. It was actually the floating tomb of space vampires who are now trying prey on you and use you to bring more to their evil lair. It's full of those sorts of wacky tropes. There are also large-scale monsters. They've got monsters that are designed for operating like on a ship scale. So they're taking their lead from old sci-fi of the times, but this lasted right through to Star Trek days, who fought their fair share of giant space amoebas and space viruses. There are wonderful treasure generators and ancient artifact generators, and things that generate just flavour for the ancient artifacts. So you find a weapon, as what is this is my oscillating purple bone-seeking ray. You kind of can make these wonderful things up from different keywords on the chart. What is it? It's +1 ray gun. No, it's my oscillating purple bone-seeking ray. This has a really nice ship building system. It's done in quite good detail. You pick hulls, and those hulls you then pick different sorts of armour. But different types of armour is actually, some of it's vulnerable to different types of weapons. Some of it's really good at keeping out rays, but isn't that good at, like reflective hulls and so on, which are really good at keeping out rays, but they're not very good at fending off mass drives and so on. But you also get shields. Shields have a percentage efficiency, and effectively when someone gets a hit on you, your shield has a percentage chance of negating it. You put in reactors and thrusters and so on, which gives you maneuverability. Maneuverability makes you harder to hit. The reactors, if you take big reactors, it gives you more power for stuff, so you can power better shields and so on, but obviously it takes up space. You spend space on your cabins and obviously on all of your weapons. They've got missiles of all sorts of different ones. Missiles in ship combat, they take a few turns to actually get there, so you launch them and the umpire keeps a track of when they arrive, but you can actually get outside of the range of the missiles. You can also dodge the missiles. Pilots can duck and dodge. There are mass driver things that fire off different kinds of amazing shells that have got all kinds of amazing effects, and there's all kinds of really cool ray guns. Bang 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 bang. The armor, essentially a lot of the weapons chew out hit points from the armor before they affect the ship. Once you start affecting the ship, you start getting systems start going down, and characters have to start saving against taking damage and all this sort of thing. And of course, then eventually it's laser swords out and let's board. So it is a really nice, detailed combat system. It's done simply, but it works. And again, you've got that design thing. Everyone can tool about and really make that ship theirs. You can get weapon upgrades and all sorts of cool stuff happening. So there are lots and lots and lots and lots of charts for just helping you run a game. Starport encounters, groovy space stations and what's on them, what kind of characters you meet, when you're in the Starport bar, you know, lots of chance encounters, which are all adventure seeds and so on in themselves. And lots of guidelines for making cool monsters, cool planets, cool environments and everything. So look, it's a small game, as you can see. It packs a ton into it. It's just this frenetic explosion of energy, really, where someone just really wanted to make this star-hopping, ray-gun-waving, bubble helmet-wearing, groovy space thing that kind of had that Flash Gordon-y, Tom Corbett Space Cadet sort of feel to it. And it's done a really good job. It's kind of a lost gem. No one really knows about it. I think it really deserves some love. It's great. You can incorporate it into other systems. This is full of charts that are just great fun for just colour for whatever the hell you're doing. So it's a great general game resource. But as a game itself, this is fantastic work. So yeah, look, you know, if you're a fan of that kind of genre, or if you want something to kind of pep up other science fiction games you might be playing, really suggest you look this one up. Bandits and Battlecruisers. This thing's an absolute delight. It really is. Yeah, go and find it online and give it a shot. Cheers!